Okay, let's dive into something that feels deeply personal for so many entrepreneurs, maybe for you listening right now. It's that knot in your stomach when you think about your prices. Are you charging enough? Are you leaving money on the table? We're unpacking why so many incredibly talented people consistently undercharge for the value they provide.
That's such a common challenge,
Well,
isn't it? And we've got some fascinating insights today, pulled from a conversation where a business coach was really digging into this exact topic with a co-host. It sort of strips back the layers and looks at the uncomfortable truth behind pricing, which often has less to do with the market and more to do with ourselves.
So this deep dive isn't just about slapping a higher number on your services. It's about understanding the why behind the undercharging, seeing the real impact, identifying the clear signals it's time for a change, and getting a practical, actionable framework for how to actually make that shift, all through the lens of this really insightful source material.
Absolutely. It goes beyond the mechanics and into the mindset, which, as the source makes really clear, is where the real work happens.
Okay, so let's jump right into that then, the root cause. According to the insights we're pulling from, what's really behind this widespread issue of entrepreneurs undercharging? Because on the surface, it seems counterintuitive if they're good at what they do.
Yeah, and what the source highlighted so powerfully is that it's almost never about the external market saying your skills aren't worth more. The core issue, nearly every single time, comes back to the entrepreneur's internal belief and confidence in their own value.
Ooh, that feels like a bit of a punch to the gut for some people, doesn't it? To hear it's not the market, it's me.
It can be uncomfortable, yeah. But the source suggests recognizing that as the first step. And there's this common paradox, right? Entrepreneurs think that keeping prices low makes them more accessible, that'll open the floodgates to clients.
The I'll get more clients if I'm the cheapest strategy. I
Mhm.
see that a lot.
Exactly. But the uncomfortable truth, according to this perspective, is that low prices often signal low confidence from the entrepreneur. It can inadvertently communicate that you don't fully believe in the transformation or the outcome you provide.
And clients pick up on that, even subconsciously.
They can, yeah. If you're not confident in charging premium rates for premium results, clients might sense that lack of firm conviction. And this leads directly to some pretty tough consequences the source outlines.
Like attracting the wrong kinds of clients, maybe?
Precisely, yeah. The source points out that underpricing can act like a magnet for demanding clients. People who may not respect your time, your boundaries, or even your process. Think about it. If you're charging very little, you might attract people who are primarily price shopping rather than valuing the expertise and the outcome. They might be more inclined to haggle, to push for extras, or to be less respectful of your working hours because they perceive the investment as low.
Ouch, that sounds like a fast track to resentment.
It absolutely is. The source used a phrase that really stuck with me. Underpricing is a magnet for burnout. When you're doing significant work, maybe even brilliant work, but the financial return feels meager compared to the effort and the stress from difficult clients, burnout isn't just a risk, it's almost an inevitability. You start feeling drained, overworked, and deeply unappreciated, regardless of client results.
And that cycle doesn't just drain your energy, it must erode your sense of self, your authority, your belief in your own business.
That's the insidious part.
Yeah.
When you're constantly battling that feeling of being undercompensated and maybe dealing with challenging client dynamics, you start questioning everything. Am I even good at this? Is my business model viable? It chips away at your authority, your professional standing, and most importantly, your self-belief over time. It's a trap that's hard to break free from because the lack of confidence that caused it in the first place is only amplified by the negative experience of undercharging.
Wow. Okay. So, if the root cause is confidence and belief, and underpricing leads to burnout and self-doubt, that brings us squarely to a massive hurdle. The fear of no. I hear this constantly from people. What if I charge what I'm worth and everyone just walks away?
Oh, that fear is incredibly real for so many. But the source material offered a powerful reframe on this. Often that fear is completely untested. It's a scenario you're creating in your head before you've even put the price out there.
An imagined rejection. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And the source suggests this fear often stems from projection. The entrepreneur looks at the price they know they should be charging based on the value they provide, and an internal voice says, wow, I would never pay that much.
Okay, so I'm looking through my own wallet when setting prices, not through the eyes of the person who actually needs my help and sees the value differently.
Precisely. You project your own financial comfort zone or your own history with investing in services onto your potential clients. You assume they have the same hang-ups or price sensitivities you do. And the trap is, you end up pricing based on that internal, fear and projection, rather than pricing from the actual value you deliver, the significant outcomes you create, the transformation you facilitate for your clients.
So you're essentially limiting your income and your impact because you're afraid of a hypothetical reaction based on your own relationship with money? It's self-sabotage disguised as market analysis.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. The perspective offered is that the focus needs to shift entirely. It's not about what you would pay for your service, but about the tangible results and value perceived by the client who needs what you offer. You need to price from that position of power and value.
Okay, that reframes the internal battle quite a bit. Now let's get practical. How does someone know, beyond just feeling that creeping resentment, that it's definitely time to bite the bullet and raise their rates? The source laid out some clear signs, right?
It did, yeah. Offering 3 distinct indicators that are like flashing lights telling you you're probably undercharging.
All right, hit me with sign number 1.
Okay, first up, you're completely fully booked. Maybe you even have a waiting list stretching out for months. But despite being at capacity, you're still experiencing financial stress. The income isn't supporting you, your lifestyle, or allowing your business to grow in a healthy way.
That feels like a critical signal. Busyness without financial security means your model is fundamentally broken somewhere, like really broken.
It's the classic sign of trading time for money at a rate that's just too low to sustain you, no matter how much time you put in. Sign number 2 is about your clients.
Okay, what are they doing or saying?
Your clients are consistently getting great results from working with you, and critically, they are telling you so. They are getting the outcomes you promise. They are seeing significant improvements or transformations. They're happy.
So if you're delivering value and your clients are validating it with their results and their feedback, that points right back to your worth, doesn't it?
Exactly. If the service you provide is genuinely impacting their lives or businesses in a powerful, positive way, and you have proof, like in the form of their results and testimonials, that's a very strong signal that the price you're charging might not be reflecting that high level of outcome delivery.
Okay, so busy but broke, great client results. What's the third sign?
This one is perhaps the most visceral, and the source called it a huge flag. You feel a deep sense of resentment about the amount of work you are delivering compared to what you are earning.
Resentment. Oof, that's an emotional gut punch, not just a logical calculation.
It is, and that's why it's such a powerful indicator. If you're putting in immense effort, pouring your expertise and energy into delivering what you know is premium work, but the compensation feels, I don't know, insultingly low in return, that feeling of resentment builds and festers. It's your internal compass screaming that the value exchange is out of whack, and you are the one getting the short end of the stick.
Right, so if you're ticking the boxes busy, client's happy, but you privately feel that pang of, I'm doing all of this for this, that's the universe basically telling you it's time.
According to this perspective, absolutely. That emotional signal is a critical red flag, that you are providing significant value but are not being compensated in alignment with that value.
All right, you've identified the internal blocks, faced the fear, maybe recognized the signs in yourself. Now for the million-dollar question, or maybe the multi-million-dollar question, depending on the business. How do you actually do it? What framework does the source offer for raising prices?
Okay, this is where it gets actionable. The source laid out a quick start framework with 3 essential steps. It's not overly complicated, but it requires intentionality and courage.
Courage sounds important here.
Yeah.
But step 1.
Step 1, pick a new price. But the key here is how you pick it. It should be a price that makes you feel slightly nervous, maybe even a little scared, because it's a stretch. But critically, it should also instill a sense of pride, because it feels aligned with the true value you provide.
Nervous and proud. Okay. That tension feels significant, pushing past the comfort zone, but also stepping into a place of earned confidence.
Exactly. It's about finding that number that honors your expertise
Yeah.
and the results you deliver, even if it makes your palms sweat a little. If it feels too easy, it's probably not high enough. If it feels purely terrifying with no pride, it might be too big a jump or require more internal work first.
Got it. Okay, so price chosen. What's step 2?
Step 2 is crucial and often missed. Reposition the offer. You don't just announce a higher price for the exact same bullet points. That rarely works well. You need to articulate the offer with greater clarity and focus specifically on the outcomes and transformation the client will achieve at this new investment level.
So it's not just now it costs more. It's more like this is a higher level investment for a clearer, more impactful result. Is that right?
Precisely. You're clarifying the journey you take them on and the specific destination. If you're a designer, it's not just I design websites. It's maybe I partner with growing businesses to create high-converting online platforms that attract your ideal customers and scale your revenue. You're painting a picture of the result linked to the higher value.
Okay, that makes sense. Price picked. Offer clearly articulated around outcomes. What's the final step?
Test it with warm leads. The source suggested starting small, pitching this new price, and the repositioned offer to a few potential clients who already know and trust you. Or maybe they're just clearly interested in working together already. The number 3 was specifically mentioned as a manageable starting point. Just 3 people.
Testing with warm leads feels smart. Less pressure than a cold call, and you're getting feedback from people who are already inclined towards you.
Exactly. It's about building your own confidence in saying the new price and articulating the repositioned value. It allows you to practice and see real reactions from people who are genuinely considering working with you.
Confidence, clarity, courage. Those threads weave right back to the internal work we talked about at the beginning, don't they? It all connects.
They absolutely do. This practical framework is built on that foundation. And the source wrapped this section up with a truly powerful idea. Pricing is fundamentally identity work in disguise.
Identity work in disguise. Wow, that really lands. It's not just about the business numbers. It's about who you believe you are as a professional.
Exactly. Stepping into charging what you're truly worth requires you to fully own your expertise, the tangible results you consistently produce, and your rightful place as a valuable authority in your field. It's about aligning your external pricing strategy with your internal sense of professional self-worth and capability.
That is a mic drop moment right there. Okay, as we wrap up this deep dive, let's quickly bring together the key insights we've pulled from this conversation.
Sure. So we explored how undercharging isn't typically a market issue, but an internal one tied to belief and confidence. We saw the negative ripple effect attracting difficult clients, experiencing burnout, and eroding your own authority and self-belief.
Yep. And we addressed the powerful, often untested fear of rejection, that fear of no, and the trap of projecting your own money mindset onto potential clients instead of pricing from value.
And we identified those 3 crucial signals that scream it's time to raise your rates. Being swamped but financially stressed, delivering fantastic results that clients acknowledge, and feeling that deep, uncomfortable resentment about the value exchange.
Finally, we walked through the quick start framework for actually making the change. Picking a price that's a mix of scary and proud, repositioning your offer to clearly communicate the outcomes, and testing it out with warm leads to build confidence. All pointing back to courage, clarity, and that profound idea of pricing as identity work.
Yeah, the source really encourages a shift in perspective, away from viewing higher prices as greedy and towards seeing them as stepping into alignment with the genuine value you provide and the powerful results you help clients achieve. It's about building a sustainable business that actually honors your energy and expertise.
It's about recognizing and respecting your own worth, fundamentally. And for you, the listener, as you reflect on this deep dive, here is a provocative thought to carry with you. If pricing is indeed identity work, what part of your professional identity needs to be more fully acknowledged, owned, and valued in the way you structure and price your business? Think about what stepping into that identity would look like.
A really valuable question to sit with.